Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How's everyone doing today? Awesome. It's just fantastic, right? The weather. Yeah, we were dreading that it was going to be raining today, and just look at the sky behind me. It's just gorgeous. So this was meant to be.
Yes.
So my name is Smitha Seshadri, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Development at Bridge for Northern California, and I will also be your MC today. So on behalf of Bridge and our CEO, Ken Lombard, who certainly sends his apologies and he couldn't be here today, I want to welcome all of you and thank you for taking the time to celebrate the groundbreaking for Potrero Block B. Many, many moons ago, Bridge was selected by the city of San Francisco to partner with the residents of the Potrero community and literally redesign the landscape that you see around here. Together, we embarked on the long overdue and critical task of figuring out how to connect the Potrero Terrace and Potrero Annex to the rest of the Potrero Hill neighborhood. Countless hours of discussions, design charrettes, and focus group meetings with the community resulted in Rebuild Potrero, a bold and ambitious vision to redevelop the 38-acre Potrero HOPE SF site into a master plan development with 1,600 housing units, parks and open spaces, a new street grid, retail, and community serving spaces. That grand vision is slowly but surely taking shape here right before our eyes, with the development of the second phase with 157 units of affordable family housing and the surrounding street infrastructure. (1101) Connecticut, the building right behind you that you see across the street, is 72 family housing units, and that opened in 2019 as phase one of Potrero. Potrero Block B also includes a 6,000 square foot childcare space on the ground floor and will provide a new home for the Cross-Cultural Family Center, a childcare provider who has patiently served the Potrero community for many, many years out of 2 existing apartments. In addition, the Block B development will also include a 4,000 square foot public mini park, the first of several parks and community serving open spaces that are a really important part of this master plan. Our mission at Bridge Housing is to strengthen communities. I've been with Bridge for many years, but I recently joined the Potrero team earlier this year. So this is really personal for me. I really want to take this opportunity to thank the residents of the Potrero community and all the other stakeholders, including Supervisor Walton and his staff, Mayor Breed, staff at the Mayor's Office of Housing and OEWD, the San Francisco Housing Authority, I see Tanya here, and staff at HOPE SF also for welcoming me to become part of the team and persevere in our collective effort to rebuild Potrero. I look forward to working with all of you to further our mission. Lastly, a big shout out to the small but mighty Bridge team. I have April Talley, Susan Neufeld, I think you're somewhere here, Cyrus Hoda, who was not able to be here with us today, TJ Bryce, Lynn Hikita, and Ellen Anderton, who are all instrumental in bringing us together today to celebrate this wonderful milestone. Now let's give everybody on the broader Potrero team, all the stakeholders, specifically the Potrero community, let's give everybody a big round of applause. And now I'd like to welcome Supervisor Shaman Walton, who has been a tireless champion of the Rebuild Potrero project.
Good morning. Well, first of all, welcome to the beautiful District 10 where the sun is always shining, even with the expectation of rain. But this is really, truly a beautiful day for us here in community to be breaking ground on another building, more housing, more affordable housing here in San Francisco and in Potrero Hill. I think my conversations with Bridge probably started in 2007, 2008, when I was still the director of the Potrero Hill Family Resource Center. And we were talking about the development. We were talking about, of course, how we were going to rebuild Potrero. And now here we are 24 years later. We have first units up. We have more units on the way. And so this is what we really, truly call fulfilling a promise. And we are going to make sure that we continue to, of course, finish all the units that are going to be replaced here on the Hill. But when we replace units, we're not replacing community. We're making sure that community can stay here, live here in the same neighborhood where they've been raising families, been working for the last few decades. And so I'm just excited, of course, to be on the Board of Supervisors now to see this into fruition. I look at Eddie Cottrell, I look at Azuri, I look at members in community, look at Hattie and folks who not only have lived here for all their lives, but have worked here and been a part of making sure we got to this day. And really want to thank the resiliency of the Potrero Hill community, the residents, because they have, of course, had to endure all of the changes in designs, all of the different models before we got to this date and to start seeing the work come into fruition. So thank you so much for your resiliency to the community. Thank you all for showing up here today, and looking forward to when this is finished, when we'll be back so we can cut the ribbon and people are moving in. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Walton. I would now like to invite MoCD Director Eric Shaw to say a few words. Potrero, along with the other HOPE SF projects in San Francisco, would not be possible without the ongoing support of the mayor and certainly her staff at the Mayor's Office of Housing. Eric.
Thank you very much. And I'm also proud to say I'm the interim director of HOPE SF as well. So I wear two hats, but I'm equally proud of both and want to thank, I'm so blessed and fortunate to be centered in that initiative as well. I'm proud to be here to celebrate the beginning of construction of another building of affordable homes right here in Potrero Hill. This project reflects the promise we made to residents of the Potrero public housing, that no resident would be displaced as we work with the community to transform this place into a racially and economically inclusive neighborhood. This is the vision of the HOPE SF project, to create new possibilities for residents and for a city on aging public housing sites. This vision goes back years, and it goes back through previous mayors. And the promise to deliver on this vision has been passed from mayor to mayor. Because while the person in City Hall may change, this community still deserves projects like this. The original buildings were built here over 80 years ago, and they were not built to last for as long as they have. Thankfully, we have worked on this rebuild. Thankfully, the work to rebuild this community is already underway, with residents already moved into 72 new homes at 1101 Connecticut. And this project here will be the second affordable housing building to break ground as part of this Potrero Hill master plan. This building will bring 157 brand new affordable homes to this neighborhood. 117 of those are reserved for current residents who already call Potrero home. And this project will also create 40 additional affordable homes, creating new housing opportunities here as we reimagine this neighborhood. This includes 10 units that are reserved through the Neighborhood Preference Program, which helps make sure individuals and families are not displaced from their neighborhood. This building will also provide residents with on-site property management and services, community gathering spaces, an on-site mini park to the public, affordable childcare provided by Cross-Cultural Family, and this is just the beginning. I'm honored here to gather with you all to break ground on this next step for the Potrero community, and I can't wait to be here for the grand opening. We still have work to do. Over the next decade, we are planning up to 1,700 new homes in this neighborhood, and 65% of them will be affordable. And as we invest more in Potrero and build this housing, we will also create new community spaces, jobs, and transit opportunities. So let's celebrate this moment and continue the hard work so we can lift up all of our communities and create opportunities for all San Franciscans, regardless of their background. And so for some recognitions, I would like to thank everyone involved in HOPE SF. Will you raise your hands, please? I would like to thank Bridge Housing and the entire team of architects, contractors, and service providers who took the time to gather feedback from the community. Your hard work made sure the voices of this neighborhood were heard and that their needs were actually met. I want to thank the San Francisco Housing Authority, and where's Tanya at again? Who's been an amazing partner through this whole journey, which continues. It is an ultra marathon, if we want to call it that right now, which we're coming in at what, mile 25? So thank you very much for your leadership and partnership as well. I want to thank all the city departments in addition, including all my team from the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. Can you guys raise your hands, MOCD? And then I want to thank our funders because this is all about money. And by the way, we need more money. Thank you very much. I always have to ask, would I have the state here? The supervisor, that was in your talking points too, to ask for some more money. So we'll do that offline. But I do want to thank the California Department of Housing and Community Development, who's provided critical funding through the California Housing Accelerator to allow this project to move forward. I think this is one of 5 projects through HOPE SF that are being funded. And I just want to thank you very much. And finally, once again, I want to thank the community. You put your faith in us and you continue to work with us. And without you, none of this would be happening. So let's continue to work together so we can make more projects like this one possible as we strive for a San Francisco that is affordable to everyone. And with that, I'll bring my fellow partner in development and finance from the state. Should I transition? Oh, okay. It was like, hand it over. Okay, there you go. All of us should be asking for funding. All right, it takes a village in that space. But thank you very much for your leadership and partnership as well.
All right, before I get started though, I need to take a picture from up here.
Oh, okay.
Because all of you have been pointed to, all of you have raised your hand for your role, and I'm only getting pictures of one person at a time. So everybody put a hand up. Congratulations, your victory. Good job, thank you. And of course, Eric. Good morning, everybody. I'm Monica Hernandez. I'm Deputy Director for Communications at the California Department of Housing and Community Development. It is my great pleasure to be here today. Oh, well, thank you. On behalf of Governor Gavin Newsom, yeah, I was like, please don't record that. HCD Director Gustavo Velasquez, who very much wanted to be here today and sends his regrets, and our entire department. I want to wish you all a congratulations and honestly a thank you. I'm going to go a little off script because as I was listening to all the speakers and eavesdropping on some of the side conversations, what really resonated to me and is really at the core of great investment is community. The anti-displacement efforts that have taken place for this project are critical, they're so important, and they speak to what we really care about, and that is giving people safe, affordable homes for the long term. So thank you for that hard work. Thank you to the members of the community. I know it can be really tough to trust government and work with government, and I hope today you feel some success because we cannot be here without you. So as you heard, we invested through our Housing Accelerator Fund approximately $94 million. And what that means is this project within 6 months went from you got the award to today. That is unprecedented, it is record-breaking, and it is critical to keep this project moving. In addition, we put in another $20 million in partnership with the California Strategic Growth Council, and that's for investments in infrastructure, bikeways, improved walkways, and making better transit connections. The underproduction of housing in general and affordable housing, coupled with historic redlining and other racist policies, have made housing unaffordable for far too many people in our state and for far too long. We need more communities like this. The Housing Accelerator is going to provide approximately 5,000 new housing units throughout the state, and these are units that are going to come online extremely fast. We need developers like Bridge. We need partners like we have in the mayor's office. We want to thank Mayor Breed, Eric, your team. We need that commitment. As you heard, this project is years in the making, and we need that dedication so that no matter who's in office, these projects continue to move forward and represent the communities who really deserve and have been overlooked for far too long. We look forward to our continued investment in the city of San Francisco. We'll look forward to more opportunities. I'm going to get some pitches after this I'm looking forward to. Thank you again. I cannot wait to be back. I know our director wants to be back when we cut the ribbon and we welcome more residents home. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. We're really appreciative of both the state as well as the Mayor's Office of Housing for all the subsidy funding that they've provided to this project and other projects. I would now like to invite Jonathan Veach, Executive Director of JP Morgan Chase for the Western region. Chase Bank has provided both construction and permanent loan financing for Block B. So in addition to the subsidy funding, we reach out to the banks and our investors always to get more funding. And we really want to thank you so much for your support. Jonathan.
Thank you. I'm Jonathan Veach with Chase Community Development Bank. It's an honor to be here today representing Chase. Thank you all for inviting me. Just to start, I joined Chase 4 months ago. Prior to Chase, I was managing the city of Santa Clara's affordable housing department. And so I just want to admit I've done the least amount of work of anybody here today, but I get the honor of speaking at the groundbreaking. So that being said, first off, just want to thank Bridge and all of our partners here today, and congratulations on the groundbreaking. I've been a big fan of Bridge for a long time, both when I was at the city and here at Chase, and I couldn't think of a better development team to tackle such a complicated and important master plan development, especially on a site like this that's one of the oldest public housing sites in the city of San Francisco. Chase's role in this project was to provide $150 million in construction financing and close to $50 million in permanent financing. And despite those big numbers, there's no way this project is feasible without strong partnership from the mayor's office, the Housing Authority, and California HCD. And like Monica mentioned, I think specifically this project here is a really great example of the success of the state's Housing Accelerator program to really fund projects that would have been stuck in the bottleneck of volume cap and light tech to get tax credits, that projects that otherwise might not have been funded. So who knows where this project would be today without the accelerator program. We funded a number of phases of projects through HOPE SF. So we're proud to be part of the broader HOPE SF initiative, but specifically what's happening here at Potrero B. So just want to thank Bridge for having us here today. And I think for all of us, Block B is part of the larger goal to increase access to affordable housing for everyone, right? And I think we're looking forward to seeing your all's vision realized here and come back to see this master plan development fully fulfilled. So thank you all, and looking forward to seeing communities thrive here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I would be remiss if I did not mention the Housing Authority as also being one of the resource providers for all the projects here. The Housing Authority actually owns the land, and I want to reach out and thank my colleague, Tanya, for her thought leadership and partnership for all of these projects. And I am looking forward to working with you to expedite what we have here. Thank you. And last but not the least, I want to invite April Talley to come and say a few words and acknowledge an entire village of folks, as you can tell, that we've partnered with to make this project happen. I want to thank April for her tireless dedication and hard work in piecing together all the financing. You all just heard, how much it takes to put these projects together. And as Monica was saying, and I think Eric, you were mentioning this as well, and Jonathan, we applied multiple times for financing to the state under a different program, and we were not successful. And the governor, obviously, his priority is to increase the amount of affordable housing and expedite building housing. So I really want to thank April because, she was spearheading a lot of those applications for us. And trust me, they're not easy, lots of details. And I don't know, April, how many times you applied? 3 times, twice, okay. So I really would like for you to come up here and say a few words about, the project, your experience, and then we want to conclude with acknowledging everybody that was so instrumental to what we have here today. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I think we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. My name is April Talley, Senior Project Manager at Bridge, responsible for the Block B project. I am delighted to be here as it has been a challenging and yet rewarding time leading up to this moment. On behalf of Bridge Housing, I would like to take a few moments to thank several team members for making this development a reality. First, I'd like to acknowledge the residents of Potrero Public Housing. Thank you for your continued patience and resilience with this process. We'd also like to acknowledge the neighbors of Potrero Public Housing as well. We'd like to thank our community-based organizations that support and uplift residents in Potrero, such as the Shanti Project, CARE, Stand in Peace, the Neighborhood House, and RDJ Enterprises. Next, I would like to thank our amazing architects, Paul Mickelwee, Yaku Eskew, Jeffrey Lustow, Alyssa, and Anthony Bitwin with HKIT and YA Studio for the creative design. Thanks to Gary Strang and the team at GLS Architect for the landscape design. I'd also like to thank our consultants at CHPC for providing financial consultation throughout the pre-development through construction closing. Next, I'd like to thank Gubb and Barchet, NGO, ACC, Sunlight and Power, Jackaloni, Concord Group, and Waypoint, our construction managers on this project. Thank you to Matt Irwin, Robert Saravea, and the entire Cahill team for being continued partners in the redevelopment of Potrero. As you all know, Cahill was also the GC for 1101 Connecticut as well. We really appreciate Supervisor Walton and his staff for supporting the project. And I'd also like to give a huge thanks to the California Department of Housing and Community Development for helping us, procure funds from the California Housing Accelerator. These funds were in lieu of traditional 4% tax credits that Smitha spoke about earlier and tax-exempt bond financing. This project would not have been able to start construction and create jobs without these funds. Once again, thank you to the San Francisco Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development for providing both pre-development and gap funding. I want to thank specifically Ryan Van Zylen, Sarah Amaral, Brendan Dwyer, Sarah Tempest, Lydia Ely, and Eric Shaw. Additionally, I'd like to thank Philip Wong and staff at OEWD for their continued support and assistance with the entitlement approvals and the permit process, which we know can be crazy. A special thanks to HOPE SF staff as well for your community development efforts. Thank you to our construction and permanent lender, Chase Bank, for funding the development. I would like to thank, specifically acknowledge Ari Kiminyama, Henry Tiedemann, Wendy Richardson, and Linda Escamilla for their hard work. And next, I'd like to thank the staff at Bridge. We could not have reached such a milestone without Cyrus Hoda, who couldn't be here today, TJ Bryce, Susan Neufeld, our accountants, Tiffany Sang, Nan Lee, and Michael Clark. And also a special thanks to our community and resident services teams for all their work to support Potrero residents. Thank you to Jeffrey McCormick and Leo Batil with BPMC for letting the Potrero team constantly host community meetings at 1101 Connecticut and always being available to answer questions. And finally, I'd like to thank Lynn Hakita and Ellen Anderson for hosting this event. Thank you all.
On the count of 1, 2, and 3, toss it! Yeah.